Hey everybody, how's it going? Hollywood Pizza here, and we've got a really cool deck that I've just been having a blast with. This is Cabaretti tokens. That's right, Naya tokens here. So essentially, the deck is built around some synergies with Ginny Fey. So Ginny Fey says it's red green hybrid, white green hybrid, and a green for a 3/3 elf druid legendary creature. If you create one or more tokens, you instead create that many 2/2 green creature tokens or that many 3/1 green dog creature tokens with vigilance instead. The cats also have haste. So this card's really good essentially with any type of token producers. It ends up leveling up whatever tokens you're already making. The examples being at first is like a Gala Greeters. So essentially we can play a Gala Greeters on turn 2. So colorless and a green for a 1/1 elf druid creature. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield on your control, you choose one that hasn't been chosen in the same turn. So you can put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, create a tap treasure token, or gain 2 life. So essentially with the Ginny Fey, let's say that you go Gala Greeters on turn 2, then you play Ginny Fey. Ginny Fey is going to trigger the Gala Greeters. You can make a treasure token which instead replaces it with a 3/1 dog, which will then trigger the Gala Greeters yet again once more. So you essentially get 2 triggers off of any creature coming into play with Ginny Fey once you turn that treasure token into a creature. For additional token producing cards, we have Prosperous Innkeeper here. Not only does it gain a life when another creature comes into play, but it can also ramp you by creating a treasure token. Black Market Tycoon, another creature that does also help us ramp. Red and a green for a 2/2. You can tap it to create a treasure, but at the beginning of your upkeep, you do take 2 damage for each treasure you control. So you mostly want to just like use those treasures right away. Or the main reason that we want to use this card is once we have Ginny Fey on the battlefield, every end step we essentially get to make a token. If we have Gala Greeters, then we get to make just so many more creature tokens instead of the treasure token that we would make off of either of these. Additional creatures that we have in the deck that also happen to make tokens are Asika's Chariot. We have 4 of those and 3 Goldspan Dragons. So Goldspan does make a treasure. Essentially, we can use those treasures to instead turn them into creature tokens once we have Ginny Fey down with the Goldspan Dragon, or just because we have so many treasure producing cards. Essentially, a lot of the time, Goldspan's going to help us ramp a lot quicker. Kind of round out our creature suite here, we have Dimir, Nexus of Revels. Essentially, this card can kind of help finish the game off. As long as you have 3 or more creatures, they get +1/+0 and vigilance. If you have 6, they get +1/+0 and trample. And if you have 9 creatures, they get all those bonuses and double strike as well. So no matter what, 3, 6 creatures, you get all those bonuses, and then 9 creatures, you get all of them. So you end up turning your team into a ember cleaving, just unstoppable force that can kind of just like end the game right away. We also have Fable of the Mirror Breaker here, which is a great kind of grindy card. Not only does it make a token, which we can also upgrade, the token that it produces when that attacks makes another treasure token, so we can use that to kind of keep Ginny Fey kind of just pumping out some more creatures and continually going wide on our opponent and just making some threats that they have to deal with. Of course, the second ability kind of just helps you filter some cards, and the last ability on Kick, once it flips, you can start copying creatures, so we can just copy our Gala Greeters, get a bunch of triggers off of it, our Innkeepers, gain a bunch of life. The Goldspan Dragons, kind of just all the same there. We also kind of have a card here that kind of helps tie the deck together, which is Rabble Rousing. So 4 and a white, hideaway 5, whenever you attack with 1 or more creatures, create that many 1/1 green and white citizen creature tokens. Then, if you control 10 or more creature tokens, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. So essentially this doubles up our tokens. Not only that, we can create the different tokens with Ginny Fey. So we can kind of just make like a really huge, powerful board, and then kind of finish our opponents off by just playing a Chatmere and just attacking for a ridiculous amount of damage. The last card, at least, that isn't just a removal spell, we'll go over the removal here in a moment, but the last card that we have in our main deck that kind of helps with our game plan a little bit by at least putting a bunch of permanents into play is Storm the Festival. So you can look at the top 5 cards of your library, put up to 2 permanent cards, mana value 5 or less from among them onto the battlefield, then the rest go on the bottom in a random order, and you get flash it back for 10 mana, 6 mana to cast up front. So essentially with Storm the Festival, you can kind of get some really big cards down. You can cast, a Rabble Rousing and a Goldspan down in the same turn. Kind of just get like some really big turns, maybe set up the combos with the Ginny Fey and the Gala Greeters. It's kind of just a nice one-of, just because it's just a big powerful spell that can help you get some more of your other big powerful spells, and you get 2 of them at once, and the fact that it has flashback is just icing on the cake. For our removal suite here, we have 3 Faithful Absences to kind of just deal with any big creatures or any type of problematic planeswalkers. Thunder Rebuke does about the same. It does only deal 4 damage, so there are some games where you're gonna really want the Fateful Absence instead. So I actually am running both in the main deck to kind of hedge against any type of decks that we may be wanting to remove specific creatures against, whether it be like a Rafine, like a Lolth, anything like that. Our mana base has 2 basics of each plane and forest. We have 4 Crack Crown Pathway, 1 Rockfall Vale, a Needle Verge Pathway, 4 Sundown Passes, 4 Branchloft Pathways, 2 Overgrown Farmlands, and 4 Jetmir's Gardens. For our sideboard here, we have a Burning Hands for any type of problematic green creatures. Our 4th Thundering Rebuke. We have 2 Rip Aparts, 1 of Wandering Emperor, 3 Guardian of Faiths for any time someone's playing board wipes. Essentially, the Wandering Emperors are here to kind of like help grind or mid-range, or if you do need some kind of big removal spell. We have 2 Showdown of the Scalds, which help against any type of control deck or anywhere where we potentially may want to try to grind our opponent if they're trying to just kill most of our creatures. 3 Yosharns to kind of take care of any type of sacrifice deck. It's also very good with Fateful Absence, where you can kill something and they won't be able to use their clue. 1 Doomscar to kind of help us, even though we are a go wide creature deck. Just a Doomscar kind of helps where potentially, you know, they kill some of our actual big creatures that help the synergies go, and then therefore we can kind of set up a turn where, you know, if our opponent starts to get too ahead on the board, then we can just wipe them out. And we also have 1 of Titan Industry, which is just a solid card to cast overall, or a great card to cast off of the Rabble Rousing. It gets rid of problematic permanents, gains you life, and it also makes a token on top of that. So it kind of just does a lot of the things that the deck wants and needs. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed the video. This deck was a blast to play. We actually have a standard tournament this coming Sunday. So I actually think that this deck will be a great choice, considering that you can kind of just go wide and get around a lot of those Rafine type decks by just going over the top of them. But I think this deck's great. I've definitely had a blast playing it. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the games. All right, let's hope that we get a good opening hand here. Maybe a curve out, some tokens. Lunarch and some chariots. We do have the mana for the chariots. This hand does seem a little bit slow. Being on the draw, we can take a mulligan. We may want to. This is about the same, I would say. All we really have is like an interaction spell. Actually feels a little bit worse too, just because we have a 5-drop here. I think I'll keep it though. Let's put a Rousing back. Make sure that we're able to cast all of our spells that we have. Don't want to be stuck in the same situation where we were in the draft game, where we really need to hit our 4th land. Okay, looks like they may be playing... let me take a look here. Mostly just splashing green, or splashing red, excuse me. Yeah. Let's get the Gala Greeters down either way. I think that they're playing like the Sedgemoor Witch. I think it's Poppet deck. Can't remember what the 3-drop's called. They might just play it now. We do have the Rebuke for it. Looks like they're going to hold up all their mana in case we play something. And we will play this Innkeeper and pump up the Greeters and come in for 2. Put a counter here, gain a life as well. So let's see if they have... And they do have an instant speed removal spell, I believe. Let's see here. Maybe they just read the Greeters. Okay, no removal here. Pass a turn back. Do have a Tainted Indulgence, though. So they're definitely digging for potentially like some threats or removal spells. They're still digging with this Consider as well. Okay, they do have the Poppet Stitcher here, and they have a blue open to potentially protect it if we had a removal spell, which we do, but let's take a look here at our deck. We do need a lot more green mana. So either way, let's play this down as a green. Jetmir does pump up all of our creatures, but it wouldn't let us attack. Do we just want to play Accomplished Alchemist, and then if our opponent taps out, then we actually can go infinite with the Halo Fountain and just kill them with the Jetmir? Just because everything will get double strike? Okay, I'm completely fine with that. We'll still get to gain a life here. No attacks. So, yeah, we should be good here, I think. Okay, they just had an actual kill spell for the Alchemist, unfortunately. And probably going to attack with the Decayed token. Okay. Actually pretty surprised it didn't just come in with everything. Definitely going to take the 2 damage here. Draw planes. And I'm going to go for the Gala Greeters here first, so that way we can potentially get the Jetmir down. Not sure if I want to run it out into their open mana. I'd rather just play the Halo Fountain first. And let's see what our opponent does. I'm going to go ahead and attack. And we do have a treasure here. For the Halo Fountain, it's going to be nice. So they're going to go and get another Decay token. Okay. Do have a lot of mana. And they just have another removal spell. That's fine. Guess we could have gained some life. Or made another treasure token tapped. Might have been a mistake. It's okay. They have a lot of damage on us here, though, unfortunately. Gonna be able to block one of these tokens. They don't go away because the Poppet Stitcher did flip. Maybe might have wanted to kill the Poppet Stitcher as well. Still getting a little bit used to this deck. It's our first time playing it, and the fact that don't really get to play against most of these decks as much. Makes me forget some of these triggers here. Gain a life, make a block. Try to get this Jetmir down next turn. Maybe kill something. Can attack, gain a couple life. Things are looking pretty rough though, honestly. Let's go ahead and get the Innkeeper down. Try to cast this Jetmir. Guess we could also just make a token. Let's rebuke one of these. Can't really get rid of this anymore. Make a token. We'll get to gain 2 more life. We'll block, take 6, go down to 9. Our creature gains hexproof, sure. Yeah, it looks like at any point in the game, even if we tried to kill that, we would have just got blown out by that spell. They only have 1 card, but it could end up being a draw spell. Hey, Uncle Russ, coming in with the raid. Thank you so much, Uncle Russ. So they have a Hagra's Mauling. Let's try to get our value here now by untapping the Innkeeper. And gain some life. Make a block. We're going to go down to 6. They only have 1 card left. And it's a land. We have a Jetmir and some life, but we are at 6. Can only block 2 cards. We'll gain life. Let's go ahead and attack. And pass a turn. I don't think they're going to transform that. Okay, they actually will, which is somewhat surprising. Okay, they have Tainted Indulgence. They get another Decayed token. Definitely going to attack here. Don't really have a reason not to. I guess they'll lose their tokens though, so really want to draw a removal spell for the Poppet Stitcher. Let's untap our Innkeeper. Get to gain a life. Okay, looks like they just have Fading Hope here. And we just have Jetmir again. Let's get the Jetmir down. If we attack with the token, we're not really getting anywhere. Trying to think of what our plays are here. Untap with the token, make a token. Sure, attack. They're less likely to block anyways, just in case I have a trick or something silly. Okay, they still blocked. Oh, no they didn't. So either way, I guess they have Vigilance because of this, so now we can't even use the Hallowed. Ugh, that's a little bit annoying. But it's okay. Let's pass a turn back and see what they draw. They might just flip this back. Yep, looks like they are. We'll block with the token here. Block with the Jetmir. Yep. Either way, we're just dead anyways, even if we had blocked another creature. So, what do we want here? Some removal spells for the Poppets or the Sedgemoor Witches, which they probably have. Need a way to deal with this artifact as well. Don't think that we have anything in the deck, unfortunately, that deals with it, so we may want to put something in the sideboard after this match. It's going to be a really tough game, honestly. I think we just want another one of these. I guess it's bad against their deck because they get the redraw, but we really want to kill stuff at instant speed, and I'm fine having all the other removal spells. Is there anything else that we really want to draw or put in, excuse me? I guess we could bring in the Aria. Oh, but it doesn't kill. Yeah, that's the problem with that. It doesn't kill the tokens. Let's just bring in one more removal spell and let's cut one of these maybe. Let's cut a Greeters. Try this out, see how it does. This deck just seems kind of like a tough matchup, honestly, for us. Especially if they just have like some tempo counter spells. Sand's really good though. Have Innkeeper, we have our Ginny. All we really need are some token producers. And we can start making a lot of creatures. Gonna play the Innkeeper on turn 2. We also have removal spells, like let's just say they tap out for their creatures on turn 3, which is unlikely, but possible. We can kind of just snag them with the absences. Looks like opponents go into the tank potentially on what land they're going to play. Do we want green or do we want white? I guess it doesn't really matter as much as because we have the Jetmir's Garden. Looks like they have a consider here. Could either be rich on lands or just trying to dig either way into something that's useful. They do have a spell, potentially a Fading Hope. Let's go ahead and swing in for one. Let's hope that they don't just have a Spell Pierce here. And we'll try to cast this Chariot on turn. Or excuse me, a little bit ahead. Fortunately, they do have a Spell Pierce for us, so kind of getting burned a little bit there, but you know, I don't really know what the stock deck list for these decks is, so let's try to cast this Jenny Faye. I was really hoping for them to not have a Dwari there, but they could still have a removal spell for it. And they do have a Hagra's Mauling here. We'll get the Gain of Life and come in for one, but really need to start drawing some lands. Opponent might just have one of their win conditions here. They do not. No land, but Innkeeper still produces a treasure. Go ahead and come in for a damage. And pass the turn back to our opponent here. If we draw land, we'll be able to get this rabble-rousing down. Maybe start to make more creatures, but opponent passing with all their mana is never really a good sign, right? Let's come in for 2 damage here. Potentially bring them down to 15. Definitely okay with this Infernal Grasp. And we'll try to cast this Fable here. Progress our board a little bit, maybe get some redraws. It does resolve. We'll gain another life as well. And it looks like the Goblin's just going to get bounced, so they did have that Fading Hope. And we do draw the land here for the rabble rousing. I don't really think that I want to discard anything. I just want to have all my removal just to kill every one of their cards when I get the chance. And play down the Needle Verge. And let's just try to jam it here. See if we can get it to resolve. I still have a stop, so I'm guessing it's just a removal spell, maybe? Yeah, that's the only thing we can grab, so we'll go ahead and grab that. We'll make a token, gain a life, and hit our opponent for a damage here. Do have Fable flipping over, which is nice. Okay, opponent has Consider. And they have another land drop. They do have the Sedgemoor Witch here. So we are just going to try for double removal spell. Kiki's flips over. We'll get to gain a life. Let's try to kill the Sedgemoor Witch. Paying the 3 life. Opponent definitely has some stops here. I mean, they have spells they can cast. It's definitely guaranteed. And we're just going to try to Fateful Absence it again. Or, excuse me, try to just kill it again with a different removal spell here. And they have a Malakir Rebirth, so they are going to get their card back. I think I'm just not even going to pay the life. I mean, if that card's going to come back, I'd rather them have just paid 2 life for nothing, honestly. We'll go ahead and make a green mana here. No attacks. We'll say go. They are out of cards, but they do draw a pretty good one. They get a Poppet Stitcher. I think we actually have to kill the Poppet Stitcher over the Sedgemoor Witch, even though I really, really want to kill the witch. I just don't think that we can do it. Go ahead and make a copy of the Innkeeper here. They do get a redraw, which does suck, but they really had to get rid of one of their creatures either way. We'll play this Lunark. Gain a couple more life. Do we just want to swing? Yeah, let's swing out with both of these. We get a couple more cards. Gain a bunch more life. Get some more tokens. I gain a life, but don't even know if I really care right now about that. Okay, they have another witch. Could have another spell. Looks like it's just a land, luckily. So it'll come back to our turn here. And we hit a chariot, which is actually just great. So we will chariot. Okay. Gain a bunch of life. I think about whether or not I want to copy the chariot just to have haste. I think I do. One. Yeah, we'll have a bunch of stuff and be able to kill one of these. Oh, it's legendary though. Ugh. My bad, chat. I'm forgetting about all these things. Yeah, we can't even do anything really. Ugh, that was kind of a big punt there. Do apologize about that. Can still kill a Sedgemoor Witch, which is nice. Yeah, let's copy a cat. Feels bad, but it's okay. We'll go ahead and swing with the cat, both of these tokens, and then we'll hit 10 or more creatures to just Thunder and Rebuke the Sedgemoor Witch, and doesn't really matter if we have to pay life for it because we're just gaining so much life here. And they can make some okay blocks, take some damage, and then still get back to their turn and do a lot, but at the same time, we are at a very high life total, and we also have a really huge board. Mehook would be pretty devastating, honestly, but we still have a chariot, and we'd be able to get the Lunark out of the graveyard, so we still have some plays, even if they were to wipe the board on us here. So they get a redraw. Let's see if they draw anything that's relevant. They do get another Sedgemoor Witch, which blocks decent. And they're just going to say go here. They do have a creature land as well that they can block with. And we hit a Gala Greeters, which is really nice. Okay, so I actually think we're just going to play the Greeters first. We'll actually copy another Gala Greeter. Or excuse me, we'll make another Gala Greeter. And then we'll get triggers, and we'll get some more triggers off of the chariots whenever we attack. Yeah, we'll put a counter here. We'll also crew the chariot with the creatures that matter. And we're just going to attack with everyone here. We'll get to make a copy of a cat. And then we'll gain a bunch of life. They do get a hive. We're completely okay with that, though. We'll make a treasure token. Put a counter. Yep, we're going to get to do all this again as well here. Gain 2 more life. Make a treasure. Gain 2 more life. We're going to go up to 67 life here. And they're going to go ahead block that greeter. Block a token and block a token. They are dead here though. Well, right? 8. Oh, only 9, so they go down to 2. And kind of just have like a really huge board state here. They get 1 draw at the me hook if it's still in their deck. Or if they even play it. They probably do. They're in black. So is there anything that we really want to change up? I don't believe that we do. Hearse seems good, but they're not really getting anything. I guess the Rebirth gets card back from their graveyard. We could also try to just go for the combo, right? Like if they tap out 1 turn, we can just make infinite mana and infinite creatures and infinite life. And then make it so that they have to find a way to kill us right away. Yeah, maybe just going for the combo. I mean, we could even bring in a Guardian of Faith if we're really that worried about me hook. Cut the Storm the Festival, maybe. Just in case. Let's do that. Just in case. I think that we do have a chance of getting the combo off if they tap out. Like if we get to keep our mana creature down for a turn or two or kind of sandbag it a little bit. Even though they do have target removal, like some of their deck is also just protection spells, and then we can maybe get them in an awkward spot where their cards don't line up right to what we're trying to do, and then out of nowhere we kind of just get them. And yeah, we're definitely going to keep this hand. We have the combo. It's possible. It is definitely possible. So let's go just drop a forest first. We'll play the Innkeeper. Play the Plains second. Okay, they do have mana here. Let's see if they have like a threat or maybe even like a discard spell, potentially. And if we don't want to play our combo out, we can actually just lead off with some of these other cards that our opponent may want to counterspell or kill. I feel like the Fable is actually a really good bait first before we play the Accomplished Alchemist. Opponent going to the tank here. Okay. I think they have Jawari, maybe? Okay, they just have Attain and Indulgence. They're digging a little bit, which is fine. Can you... Okay, so they just have another... So they just have another Attain and Indulgence, potentially just trying to get some lands. Okay, they did hit a land. Do we just want to try to go for combo? Let's see. Let's do it. Let's just go for it. Let's just do it. Probably have a kill spell for us. Let's see if they just progress. Oh, wow. Okay, that's pretty good. Do they have a bounce spell, maybe? They could. It looks like they do. They have a stop. Could just be a protection spell as well. Yeah, I think they're gonna... Okay, they're not gonna bounce it. Okay, gonna play this as a red source. And we're gonna play the fountain. We have to attack with the innkeeper to kind of bait them a little bit. So that way we have a backup to them killing the alchemist. Okay, so they're just going to kill the alchemist now. Okay, so we're going to add a white mana, and we're going to untap the alchemist. Oh, I guess we need a way to untap this. I keep forgetting we need a way to get this going. So we do need to add blue back into the deck potentially. Oh, no. Oh, sorry. It's making too many mistakes right now. At least we traded with the token. They didn't just outright block with that, but still not good. Still not good. Gotta get the chariot down next turn. Okay, they have pop it. They only have black mana though, so we're actually open to kill one of their cards. What card would be more important? The Stitcher? Just because it's a scarier card overall? Okay, we do have another fountain. I think we're just... don't think we can do that. I think we kind of just had to kill this card. Still can't attack. Need to draw some lands here to be able to do things, but... other than that, I think it's Chariot. Oh, they just have another pop it, though. What are we really trying to draw here? Just removal spells? It's not one, though. Could play Alchemist, make a lot of mana. The following turn off of Chariots. We also lost our Innkeeper. Let's just go for the Chariot here. Our opponent does have a lot of cards, so... it could end up being that we're just in trouble overall. Really want to try to get the Rabble Rousing off next turn, maybe. They could attack if they want to be aggressive. Three mana left. Let's see. What do we want to play to be able to crew the Chariot? We could try to go for like an end step crew to be able to make a token. But it's probably not worth it, especially if they have like a kill spell. We have another Chariot as well. Do we just slam down the Rousing? They have mana open and they put something in the Foretell Zone. Let's try the Fabled. See if they have Assault coming. They may just want to blow it on this. Okay. Alright, we'll get a token. Let's go ahead and crew the Chariot up. Go to combat. Attack with the Chariot. Making another Goblin. We're going to hit them here. And we'll just make a token and pass the turn. They definitely tanked for a while there. So let's see if they actually do something on their following turn. And I'm pretty sure they're just going to disconnect here. They're out of ropes, so they should just die, I think. Yep. We made so many mistakes, but our opponent timed out anyways. The rabble-rousing was actually very good in our first match. And we'll go ahead and play first. The hand is a little bit slow. Mostly relying on our opponent's playing cards and us being able to kill them. Do the Elspeth sleeves mean that they're playing an aggressive white deck? Potentially. Let's try it. We've really just been mulliganing all night, so I don't necessarily want to keep that trend going. Let's try to take a few more risks here with these hands. Our opponent is also mulliganing. And we'll play the Dimir Garden first. If we draw an untapped land, we'll be able to play it and get this Fateful Absence going, but let's play another tap land here. And they have an underdog. Alright, we did draw an untapped green source here, so let's go ahead. Should we just kill the underdog or go for the Ginny Fae? Looks like they're a Rafine deck. I think I'd rather see if they get a Rafine down, and then we can just kill that. We have the ward mana for it. And then on the following turn, so no Rafine. I'll take the 3 damage, see what they play. If not, we do have a Fateful Absence. Really hoping to draw a 4th land to play Chariot and then go into the Rousing. Kaido. I think we'll just kill that before it gets to phase out. We did hit our 4th land. We'll play this as a green source and play a Chariot. And we do have tokens to be able to trade with their underdog. And then we also have the Ginny Fae to crew the Chariot next turn in case we have to do that. Opponent is down to 5 cards, but they do have a redraw with the clue. Another underdog comes down. They also still have 2 mana open in case they have a Vanishing Verse potentially for the Chariot here. And no attacks. Drawing land is actually just fantastic there. I'm going to try to Thunder and Rebuke one of these underdogs. We'll play a Ginny Fae. Crewing the Chariot with the Ginny Fae and a token. We're going to go to combat. We'll target the cat as a copy, but make a dog. Looks like they do just have the Vanishing Verse. So I'm actually just going to pass a turn, so that way we can just block with the cat token. On the following turn, we can still Rabble Rousing or cast a Chariot. We may want to hold on to the Rousing for just a little bit longer. That way we can try to get maybe another Vanishing Verse out of their hand. But if we do play the Rousing, we'll get 3 more tokens, and that definitely gets us really close to being able to just pop it off on the following turn. Opponent's going to the tank here. Do have quite a lot of cards left, so they do have options potentially. They could bring back their other underdog and just attack us to try to deal us a lot of damage. That would take up their whole turn, though. No attack, so they're just going to pass with all mana open. I'm actually going to try to come in with both of these cat tokens here. Start being a little bit aggressive on our end. Not going to play the Rousing yet. They have all open mana, so they definitely have to have some sort of response to what we're doing here. We'll trade with the underdog, potentially dealing our opponent some more damage, but it looks like they just have a Wandering Emperor. Okay, they'll make a token. I'm just going to replay this Chariot to try to set up for a big rousing turn. I'll actually just get 2 dogs with Vigilance here, just because they're higher powered. The first strike is only on our opponent's turn, so if they want to attack, we're just going to take the 3 damage. It's not that much of a big deal. We may just use one of the tokens to trade with an underdog as well. Okay, they're going to bring down a wedding announcement. So it's actually really good for us because they're pretty much tapped out. They'll make another token. We're okay with that. And we'll go ahead and play the rousing here. Getting another chariot. We will crew the chariot with the Ginny Fae and the token. And we're just going to attack. Let's attack. I guess they'll probably let the Emperor die. Let's attack them here and still make them have to trade. So we'll go ahead and just make some dog tokens here. And probably not going to kill the Wandering Emperor, but I think I'm still okay with that. While we had 9 creatures, we were really close to being able to pop off this rousing here. Could get blown out potentially by Meat Hook. That's definitely a scary card here. Especially considering they haven't been playing some of their creatures out, maybe. Okay, just another wedding announcement, so we kind of dodged that a little bit there. And them tapping out for their turn pretty much means they don't have a removal spell, so we'll go ahead and I'm actually just going to attack out with everybody here. We'll make 8 more dogs and get a chariot online. 2 more dogs. And our opponent definitely has to make some blocks here. Probably just going to block the tokens. Saves them the most damage. They're still taking 14 here. And we'll keep this Ginny in our hand. Can't play it anyways because it's legendary. We'll also cycle the Jetmir's Garden some point during their turn to potentially try to be able to get another creature to crew the chariot in case they were able to get a Meat Hook Massacre there. And we were able to pull away with that game with all those tokens. So potentially a Rafine deck still. Let's bring in the Guardian of Faiths just in case they do have the Meat Hooks. We can cut the Accomplished Alchemists and the Halo Fountains. And let's see here. Could bring in the Yasharn potentially. I guess they don't really have too much sacrifice. Could bring in another Faithful Absence just in case. The Unlicensed Hearse isn't terrible either. But it does require us to kill the underdog and then exile it. I think we may just want more pieces of removal here. Let's bring in the other Thunder and Rebuke. Do I just want the hearse? I feel like we may want something bigger here. Maybe we keep the Storm the Festival or bring in our own Wandering Emperor. Emperor does exile. I think we'll keep the Storm the Festival and we'll try this out like this. See what our opponent does here. Hope that our opening hand is good. We don't have any white mana, so I can't keep this. If we did, there is a potential that we might. Take a mulligan, definitely keep this hand. Putting back a Branch Loft Pathway. Going to start off with a Jetmir's Garden into the Branch Loft Pathway on green, into a Gala Greeter. I don't really think things change here. I think we're still going to go with the Garden, just so that way all of our lands come into play untapped. We could have kept one of the Branch Loft Pathways, but I really like the option of being able to just have all of our colors at all times. So let's go get a Gala Greeter down. They definitely have a removal spell of some sort, as they have a stop. And they're just going to use a Vanishing Verse on that. I think I'm okay with it. We can go Ginny, and if we top deck an untapped land, we can cast this Chariot and get 2 dogs. Opponent's going to make a token here. Do draw Fateful Absence. Let's go get this Ginny Fae down. Next turn, we could also Lunarch Veteran with the Fateful Absence up if we need to. Let's say they play like a Luminarch Aspirant, something like that. We do draw the land for the Chariot, so let's get that down. Make 2 dogs here. I don't think I want to attack with the Ginny Fae just yet. I'd rather wait for our opponent to not have any mana. They could have just had another Aganjo, and I don't really want to play into that. I'd rather just keep all my value cards, so that way we just have more things to be able to crew the Chariot with, keep attacking. And it looks like they do just have an Infernal Grasp here. I am okay with that. Let's crew the Chariot. Looks like they don't have a land drop. So they are stuck on 3 lands here. They do get to flip the Wedding Festivity. So gonna go ahead and drop a Lunarch Veteran. And let's see if our opponent triple blocks the Chariot. Gain some life here. Yeah, it looks like they are. Okay, they're not. So we actually get to just kill all their creatures and keep a Chariot. Even though we give them a clue, it's not really that relevant because our opponent is actually so behind on mana that if they need to spend mana to crack the clue, then that's pretty much going to take up most of their turn, if not their whole turn. And they are actually just going to do that to try to dig for their 4th land here. They did hit it, but it does come into play. Tapped Portable Hole is going to get rid of one of the dogs here. We're okay with that, though, because we can just make another one with the Chariot. Believe we may want to cycle this first to potentially hit a 2-drop. Did not hit a 2-drop. We'll go ahead and crew. Hit our opponent for 4, making another dog token, gaining another life. Let's go ahead and play this Sundown Pass, just in case they make us discard cards. We don't want to just lose our lands for nothing. And looks like our opponent's just going to pass back to us, so they could just have like an instant spell potentially. We do have a Fabled, so I'm just going to play that to help us crew the Chariot a lot better. I guess we still have to use a dog either way. But we do get to attack. Oh, I'm so sorry, chat. Let's attack here with just these. Sorry about that. Totally missed the trigger there. Ooh, Wandering Emperor. So they're going to make a Samurai token. Maybe block the 1/1. I'm actually kind of glad we didn't, because then they would have just Wandering Emperor the Chariot. That actually ended up working out. They're actually just going to trade with the dog token, so that actually ends up working out in our favor. We'll go ahead and pass a turn here. We'll use the Fable to discard this land to get a redraw. And looks like our opponent's just going to pack it up. We actually just have so much value going on that it actually just doesn't matter. We'll see you next game. Hoping to have fixed up the deck a little bit. Halo Fountain was giving us some reach, though. I'm not gonna lie. It was getting the job done. But I do enjoy ramping and having, like, tokens every single turn. We're going to be on the draw this time. I think we have to mulligan here. Hoping to hit one of our 2-drops. We do hit one of the 2-drops. It's not a rampy one, but I think that we still have to keep it because we're 1 land away from being able to get this Fable down. I think we can put Dimir back just because we're not going to go wide right now with this hand. Top decking that Crack Crown pathway was awesome. We already do have access to double red and white, green. Let's go get this Gala Greeter down. Opponent looks like they're on Bant, aka Brokers. Hitting their 3rd land drop here. And casting a Slow Gurk. Pretty interesting card. Go ahead and play Sundown Pass. Okay, so right now it's just a 3/3. Let's go and play the Fabled. We're going to make another treasure here. Or excuse me, we're going to make a treasure. I'm already thinking about making a treasure off the Goblin Shaman, but we have Goldspan Dragon down next turn, which is nice. That also makes more treasures, so it looks like they're going to make a Monk here. We're completely fine with that. Not going to attack with a Slow Gurk, so that's great for us. I think that we can get rid of the Crack Crown, but I don't want to risk not hitting any lands. Oh, hit a land anyways, that's fine. We still have lands to continue casting our spells for the rest of the game with it. We'll go ahead and make another treasure here, which gives us more mana. And we will actually attack with both the Goblin Shaman and the Goldspan, just because we're going to make 2 untapped treasure tokens. And we're just able to kill the Slow Gurk here. So that way the Goblin token can just come in for damage. So we should be hitting our opponent for 6 here. Putting them down to 14. The following turn, we're able to use this Chariot. Excuse me, put the Chariot onto the battlefield. And let's see what our opponent is up to. And they still have 4 cards in hand. They got to get the second part of the saga. Katolda is actually a really good card. We do hit a Jennifer here, which is fantastic. We do not have a way of getting... haste, though. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and play this Jennifer. Getting a tapped treasure, which turns into a tapped dog. We'll gain 2 more life off of the dog coming into play. We'll cast a Chariot. And our opponent's actually just going to scoop it up here. Definitely had a lot going on there. So, what else do we want to bring in now? Our opponent wasn't doing much, but they do have creatures. Do we want to bring in different removal spells? Do we want to cut Jetmirs, some of the ramp? Titan seems okay, but it also costs a lot of mana. So if we bring in a Titan, we're more so relying on getting the rabble rousing off. I think could just keep it the same. I mean, nothing's really changing here for us. Cut a Rebuke, bring in another Absence. I guess we did cut the Absence, so we can't even do that anymore. Could bring in the Wandering Emperor. I just don't really think that we need it. Maybe could even cut a Dimir for the Emperor. Just in case they end up with some really big creatures. Nah, I think we're fine. I don't really think we need to bring anything in. Let's hope for a good opening hand here. We're going to be on the draw. We actually have a really good hand here. Going to start off with the Sundown Pass. Enter the Prosperous Innkeeper. And then get this Chariot down. Don't forget, everyone, we do host 3 tournaments a month. All the links are going to be in the description down below. So definitely check that out. And we're going to get this Crown Pathway as a green source. And it looks like we're playing against runes. Or, actually, wait, no, we're not playing against runes. This is just throwing me off. Hold on. Do we just want to kill this then? I think I'm still okay. Well, we could also get our greeters. Let's get our greeters going, actually. We'll greeters into Ginny Fae, and then get another token, and then get more tokens off of the Chariot. Man, that really threw me off quite a bit there all of a sudden, right? Go ahead and get a Naturalist down. So this is actually kind of scary. Did they just sideboard into like a completely different deck all of a sudden? Are they... I think I'm just going to kill... Let's actually Innkeeper. Make a tap treasure. We'll use the mana from the Innkeeper to kill the Naturalist so we stay positive on the treasures here. They have 4 cards left. Did they just have a protection here? They might. They actually have a counter spell. Okay. Pass the turn back to our opponent. We could be playing against runes here. Maybe that's what they sideboarded into. Could end up disrupting some of their main board plan, though. I haven't seen a transformative sideboard in a long time. Alright, here comes Kami and the Jukai. We're just going to take the damage here. And we have another Gala Greeters. What do we want to do? Just feel like we want to Ginny Fae, but that just makes 1. We could get Gala Greeters down. Yeah, let's gain some life here, I believe. I have a lot of plays we can make. Different options. Yeah, let's just get this down. Because next turn we can actually have a really big turn with Ginny. So let's make a tap treasure, which makes a dog. Gains us some more life. So we'll go up to 16 and we'll pass a turn. We can block with the Innkeeper, considering we just have another one, which will help gain us some more life. We can still block the Naturalist with our Ginny Fae. Not sure if I really want to do that. Tamisha, we're going to have to read this card. Not entirely sure what it does. Whenever one or more non-creature permanents are returned to hand, draw a card, so it's any hand. This ability triggers once a turn. Return a land control to its owner's hand. Return an artifact or enchantment card. Mana value X or less. Graveyard to the battlefield. I'll take the 6. Black Market Tycoon. So let's Gala Greeters first. We will make a tap treasure, which turns into a dog. We'll go ahead and gain a couple life here. Make another tap treasure that turns into a dog. Put a counter. Gain life. Think we play Innkeeper. Artifact or enchantment. They can play cards off their deck. I'm just going to do this because it gives us an untapped dog. So put a counter on the greeters, get an untapped dog, gain a couple more life. This card has vigilance. We'll go ahead and attack. They'll block with the naturalist, gain some life. Tamisha just gets it back so they can just return a land. It will take up most of their turn though. We're okay with that. So we have a lot of tokens here. We've got a lot going on. Let's see what our opponent does here. Looks like they are going to bring back that Jukai Naturalist. Draw a card. We're completely okay with that. It's not as bad as it could be. We're just really looking to grind them out here. Just going to keep trying to go wide on them. Okay, Teachings of Karen. They're going to go ahead and get another token here. Mill themselves for some cards. Potentially give themselves some more options for the Tameshi. And we'll go ahead and see what our opponent does. They do only have 3 cards left in their hand. We'll play our Sundown Pass. Fortunately, we didn't draw different colors, but it's okay. We're still going to get this Chariot down just because that's great. Make the tokens into 3/1 dogs. And that's also going to trigger our Gala Greeters as well. And it looks like our opponent has a negate here for the Chariot, unfortunately, but it's okay. I think we are still potentially going to send them to dogs, but I think that it's better if we just wait. And they're going to go ahead and put a +1/+1 counter on a creature that they control. They'll go ahead and put it on the Falco Spera, making it a 4/4. So now the Falco can actually block our Goldspan. Opponent doesn't know about it yet, but if they do end up attacking with the Falco, then we'll be able to come in with our Goldspan as well. The Black Market Tycoon is going to be great later in the game when we're able to kind of just get continual tokens and trigger both of these Gala Greeters. Looks like they're going to bring back their other Jukai Naturalists that they milled off of the Teachings. See if they attack here without Falco Spera. And they are. Go ahead and take that 4 damage. Not as much of a big deal as it could be. And it comes back to us. Didn't draw an untapped source, so we'll go ahead and play this Black Market Tycoon. And just pass the turn. They're going to get their Teachings to the last part of the saga. Let's see what our opponent has here up their sleeve. Look in their graveyard here real quick to see what they may or may not have left. So they have a lot of mana. Looks like they're going to go ahead and get a wedding announcement down. Let's see if they have a follow-up play to that. They have 3 cards left. Looks like they also have a Jukai Naturalist. So looks like our opponent is progressing their board state. We have a gold span, hoping that it resolves. Let's try it. They still have 3 cards in hand. They could just have more counter spells for us here. Let's make another token. Another token. Make them as dogs. Gain some more life. We'll gain more life off the Gala Greeters. Make more dogs. Gain some more life. Put counters on them. Go back up to 22. I think we just attack with our cards here. We'll make another dog with Vigilance, triggering our Gala Greeters again, and our Prosperous Innkeepers. And they just have the blocks with their 1/1s, pretty much. Block with the Naturalist, they can get it black with the Tamishi. Really hoping to draw a creature, even if we don't. Goldspan makes treasures. Just hoping that the Goldspan doesn't die here. Eventually their wedding announcement is going to flip, so their Falco is going to get bigger. They're also able to cast cards off the top of their library, which is a problem. So let's see what our opponent has for us here. Okay, they're going to get back the Naturalist. Going to get a redraw. Opponent's kind of just grinding us out with value right now. Removal spell would be great, just because we still have treasures off the dragon, which make tokens. They're going to keep back their Falco just to block so that we don't keep that chain going. Fortunately, we do draw a land, so we don't really have a good attack here. Kind of just had to say go. Hoping to top deck a creature or just any of our other powerful cards. Really want to hit a Rabble Rousing just because we'll just go off pretty hard, gain a ton of life, and be able to cast another card for free. Okay, they have another Teachings of Karen, so they'll get a token that's able to block our dogs. Kind of in just like this weird stall. They can get back their Teachings of Karen. Down to 31 cards, so they still have plenty of cards left to just kind of keep milling themselves here. And they just have, you know, ton of cards, full grip. We're getting to see a little bit more of their deck as well. Brutal Cathar, Wandering Emperor. Okay, Wedding Announcement does flip, so all their cards are big. Our cards are also very big. Oh, we needed to play this. Ooh. Getting punished for it. That was really rough there, YouTube. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was pretty brutal. Really wanted that to go down. Wasn't expecting them to have another one, but I guess they probably run 4 of that card. They drew 2 of them already, and then that was the 3rd one. Kind of rough. Definitely a big mistake. Opponent just has a lot of cards, kind of grinding us out here. I don't know if I see us winning this game unless we top deck like a Rousing or something that is actually going to resolve. They're kind of just hitting all the cards they need, so you know, we're kind of just in a really bad spot here. They can get back a Brutal Cathar as well and exile one of our cards. Probably the Genie Fae. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that mistake. That definitely Could have potentially just cost us the game there. Gonna get back a wedding announcement. Just to make all their creatures even bigger than ours. We're kind of just getting out-whited here. And let's just move on to the next game. We're just top decking lands, so... Definitely won our board wipes here. Wasn't expecting them to do all of that. Let's go with the Doomscar. And just more removal overall. Bring in the Thunder Rebuke. Not many... I guess they do have green creatures, but... Can already kill most of them with the removal that we have. Do we want Wandering Emperor? Maybe even some Rip-Aparts. Yeah, let's bring in the Rip-Aparts. I guess we can keep in these Thunder Rebukes. Cut a Jetmir. Maybe cut one of our ramp cards. Tycoon. Could even cut the Storm the Festival over the Jetmir. Yeah, let's do that. Let's try this. We had a lot going on there, but... Yeah, not really sure if not playing the land punt would have won us the game, but... Let's try to see if we can take this third game here. Okay, we'll keep it. Obviously, you don't have any 2-drops or anything, but I don't really want to mulligan this hand. Just because we could just end up with kind of something trashier and unplayable. We have been mulliganing quite a bit. It's not even necessarily anything even against the deck, considering, you know, we have like 11 or so 2-drops in the deck. Okay, Teachings. We'll go ahead and get our Fable down. So we're really hoping to hit this rabble-rousing on turn 5. We have Asika's Chariot next turn. If our opponent keeps tapping out, then we'll definitely be able to hit it. And potentially just play multiple spells for free. Or one spell, so at least that'll be good. Opponent potentially going to the tank here. And they hit a Broker's Ascendancy. Interesting. Gonna make this a 3/3. Okay. We will discard. I want to get rid of the Innkeeper and a land. I'm really worried about not hitting lands. Of course, we're gonna hit a land. I just don't want to take that chance. We still have a bunch of cards here. The Rousing will potentially hit a lot of creatures, considering that the Fable is actually going to flip over and help crew the Chariot. Opponent does hit their 4th land drop here. No double white for the Catilda. But they have a Kami, potentially just holding up a negate, unfortunately. So we can't really cast this Rabble Rousing yet. And everything's also going to get bigger, so we're definitely in some trouble here. We know they play counterspells, so we really just can't cast anything. We can trade, though. We can trade with one of their cards. And then cast a Chariot into the negate, and then try to cast the Rousing the next turn. Okay. That's fine. Let's get the Chariot down. Try to. We know that they just have a counterspell here for us. They kept the mana open for it. There's the negate. They're going to untap. Creatures are growing quite large. Really want to get this Rousing down for potentially a Jetmir. I think that would be the best thing we could hit. Yeah, it might just be Jetmir. Goldspan wouldn't be bad at flies, so would at least help us keep potentially some blockers down for what they're doing. Opponent may also just only have 4 mana, and right now they're kind of caught with the double blue. Nope. They have the 5th mana. Could play the Catilda from the graveyard here, make the Kami huge, and put us in a really awkward spot, but it looks like they actually just have a Brokers, which is still really good. And they do have 2 mana open for potentially a counterspell. I think we're just going to try to jam here and see if it works, and it does. We do hit a Fateful Absence. I don't mind playing that for free. Let's copy a Goblin. We're going to attack. Get to cast the Fateful Absence on the Kami. And we're going really wide right now. Let's go ahead. They're going to make a block. They're going to crack the clue. They're going to go down to 12. Jenny Faye makes a lot of tokens next turn if we still have the Rabble Rousing down. Right now, we kind of can kill our opponent in 2 swings. We also have a blocker for the Kirin. We can just choose to take the damage. It's not too much of a big deal. If they kill the Kiki, it's not too worrisome either. Right now, we're more worried about whether or not this Rabble Rousing is going to stick on the table. And it looks like our opponent's actually just going to tap out here. Everything is going to get counters. We drew a Doomscar. Not necessary right now. Let's go ahead and make a cat token that can attack. We'll play Jenny Faye. And we're actually just going to attack with everyone just because we just make that many tokens. And we'll make a bunch of 3/1 dogs here. And our opponent can block 3 of our cards. They'll take, I believe, 7 damage here. Go down to 5. And we'll just let's just keep all of our mana open. Maybe make it seem like we have some instant spells. He could get Catilda down. It'll gain them a lot of life, but I'm pretty sure that even though they'll gain a lot of life, we can still kill them with what we have, right? Okay, so that's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Are we dead here, potentially? We may be dead. I'm not sure. Could be dead here. Okay, for 12, so they go up to 17. Doomscar is like our exit plan. And we take down the match. Let's go. Cabaretti tokens coming in with that win. See you next game. Here we go. Going wide. Cabaretti tokens. Let's get wide. See if we can start off with a good hand here. And I think that's pretty good. We do have Gala Greeters back to back, which actually give us mana. So in turn could give us into our Jenny Faye on turn 4 if we don't have our 3rd mana. I actually like that. Looks like opponent is playing some sort of green deck, potentially Celestia, or even a fight rigging type of deck. And it looks like they're actually just playing runes, so we may be in for a little bit of a beating here. Let's go ahead and play this as the green source. Put our Gala Greeters down. Now we do have Jenny Faye next turn, which is huge. We're going to get to make tokens, gain life. Looks like our opponent is also going to gain some life and deal us some damage here. Ooh, Circle of Confinement coming down. Big play from our opponent, actually. Go ahead and take the 3 damage here, go down to 17. And we do have an Innkeeper here, but I think it may be best to just get this Ginny down. And then next turn, if we top deck a land, we can actually Gala Greeters into the Innkeeper to get us lots of triggers. Oh, but our opponent does have Spellbinder to kind of put a hamper on those plans here. They're just going to take the Gala Greeters, probably. Could take the Jetmir, but we have 2 of them. It's not doing anything at all. They're going to attack with the Naturalist, potentially. If they do, I believe we may want to trade here. Yeah. I think we just want to trade. Stop them from doing their game plan. Theirs is a little bit more dangerous than ours. Go ahead and get this Innkeeper down. Unfortunately, we're not drawing any mana right now. And we'll pass the turn back. And it looks like they have a Halvar here. We can just kill that on our turn if we need to. We'll take 3, go down to 14. We do hit a Gala Greeter. Don't know if it's worth it to play it or to kill the Halvar. We can kind of do both, I guess. Gain a life and pass a turn back. Opponent only has 2 cards left, so... Okay, Generous Visitor. And they do have a Naturalist, though, so they could end up making something pretty big here. Looks like they're just going to go ahead and pump up the Spellbinder. And we're guaranteed to take 4 damage here. We'll just kill the Halvar. We don't want any weird shenanigans here. Could have been an argument to kill the Flyer. We can gain lots of life potentially here. And we do have a removal spell either way. So let's actually just shoot this down. And pass a turn back. If we hit a land, we can play the other Gala Greeters, but we're still being in a pretty tough spot right now. Opponent does have a Runamite, unfortunately. It's going to pump up the Naturalist and the Kamiya Transients. And they're going to get to swing in here for 4. No blocks. Really hoping to hit a land here. We do, so we'll go ahead and play the Gala Greeter to get us some life. Get us back up to 10. Pass a turn back. And they do have an Elite Spellbinder, potentially just taking the Rabble Rousing, I believe. It gives us the most triggers. Or they just take a Jetmir. Doesn't really do anything, though. We have 2 of them. Gonna attack us for 7. We'll go down to 3. We did top deck a land. Either way, we'll get the Jetmir down. Gain some life here. Go back up to 8. Play this as a red source. And pass the turn to our opponent. And they do top deck a Runeforge Champion here, getting themselves another rune. Looks like it's just going to be out of the graveyard. And a Rune of Speed here. It ends up being that that Circle of Confinement really does hurt us, though. Just because we would have had a Gala Greeter down and would have potentially been able to do more shenanigans and then eventually get this Jetmir down and try to kill our opponent rather than just being on the back foot now and kind of just being this behind. And there's actually just nothing we could really do anymore. They just have a lot of trample on us. Let's move on to game 2 here. We want to bring in all of our removal against them. We can kind of cut some of these cards we don't necessarily need. Do we want to keep maybe a Chariot again just because it blocks good? I guess we want the Rip Aparts as well. Probably cut one of the Rampers. And a Rousing. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, let's try some combination like this. Just try to kill every single card that they play, pretty much. And then hope that our tokens are enough to get us there. Runes is just always going to be a tough matchup. It's, you know, tier 1 deck, one of the best decks in the format. It usually does really good in our events as well. It's taken down a few PizzaBox tournaments for sure. Opponent is still sideboarding. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, would be greatly appreciated. Leave a like on the video and a comment down below. There's going to be tons of links in the description as well. Definitely check them out for our tournaments and for all my content as well. And not sure what they could be trying to bring in here. Outside of just more removal for us as well. And we'll be on the play. I actually think that we can keep it. I know it's a little bit weird. Trust me. But Gala Greeters, Removal Spell, Chariot, all sounds pretty good to me. And we do draw our 4th land there. Let's just play Greeters. See if our opponent plays like a Naturalist. That's something that we want to kill with the Absence. Then we could play our Chariot and potentially go into this Rousing. Ooh, unfortunately our opponent does have removal here for us. So the Gala Greeters does go down. We'll play a Forest and pass the turn. Still have Chariot plus the Rousing, the Rabble Rousing, excuse me. So still have some plays here. They do have the Naturalist. They'll pump up their own Generous Visitor. Fortunately, we don't have time in between to kill the Naturalist, but we can just kill it now. That way they don't gain any life. We will be taking 3 more damage, but we'll get this Chariot down. That potentially helps us block or go wide. I don't even think that we want to play the Chariot. I would rather just keep this Wandering Emperor open to exile their card. They're going to crack the Clue, it looks like. And 3 damage. We'll go ahead and try to get this Wandering Emperor down. Hope that they don't have any protection spells. Looks like they do because they have a stop, I believe. If they do, it's going to be a little bit annoying, but still something we could deal with. It looks like they actually don't, and that's all that they have right now. So we're definitely just going to cast this Chariot. Pumping up a cat token. Potentially using said cat token next turn off of the Wandering Emperor as well to just crew the Chariot by itself. We can also cast this Jennifer, which makes dog tokens instead of samurais and instead of the cat tokens or whatever we copy with the Chariot. Our opponent does have Legion Angel, which is a bit scary here. We may want to just actually give first strike to the Chariot. Goldspan is not doing it right now, unfortunately. Let's play a Jennifer. Crew the Chariot with both of these. Pump up the Chariot with first strike. Come in with both. Copying a cat token into a dog. And then we don't have any mana right now for Goldspan, which is obviously kind of rough, but we're pretty ahead on board here, and our opponent's actually just going to scoop it up because we are so far ahead. Even if they blocked, I mean, you know, we top deck a land, we play Rousing, and the game's pretty much over for our opponent. They don't know that, but let's see if we can still do the same game plan of essentially just killing all of their cards and then just playing like a couple really solid threats to just close out the game for us here. So at the end of the day, we're taking runes to game 3. I'm actually pretty happy with that result. If you told me we're going to take them to 3 games, I might have maybe doubted it, but we do have lots of removal. This hand is actually fantastic. It's a little bit slow unless we top deck a untapped land, but we do have lots of removal here with both of these cards. So we may be a little bit slow out of the gate, but we can potentially just shoot down all their cards. Unfortunately, they do have a really fast start with this Naturalist here. So we're going to take some damage, trying to top deck an untapped land. We do not play the Sundown Pass, so we're going to just try to kill all their cards and survive as long as we can. Doesn't look like it will be happening, though, just because our opponent looks to have a pretty fast start here, unfortunately. They have another Naturalist, so they're just going to pump up their cards. We'll go down to 12. We can only kill one card. So we're really hoping to hit something that could help us here. Let's just rip apart the bigger Naturalist. That's all we can really do right now. Going to take 7 and then kill 2 of their cards next turn. If we can survive. Unfortunately, they do have the Runeforge champion, so that's GG's. They're going to go ahead and get the Trample Rune here. Hit us for damage. And start going off with their runes. Our opponent giving us the oops. Trying to rub some salt into our wounds, but they are playing runes, so I mean, it doesn't really matter what they do. Honestly, they're playing runes. But at least we've gotten to showcase the deck quite a bit here. And we're here for the post game with the deck. Had a lot of fun. Hope that you enjoyed the game. Some of those games were pretty grindy. Fortunately, a couple of those matches, our opponents didn't really finish the game, so we didn't really get to see what the deck could do in those third games. But at the same time, the fact that any of our losses went to 3 games, and the fact that this deck can get some games against runes, the Rafine decks, just this deck has a lot of game against a lot of different things. And I actually think if you were to take this to this Sunday's standard, the PizzaBox Open, I think you'd actually do pretty good with it. You just got to make sure you make some tight plays and essentially try to get the most that you can out of your tokens and just the deck overall. But I just had so much fun playing this. I can't tell you enough about how good I think that this deck is. But definitely check out all the links below to the deck list, to our tournament this Sunday, all my content as well. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, don't forget, hit the subscribe button to the channel. Will be greatly appreciated. Leave a like on the video and comment down below on anything that you think about the channel or the video itself. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of the weekend and stay cheesy.